We left you last episode saying we would lay out 3 ways to follow up after a first meeting. Ways that will help you feel comfortable and confident as you do it. I know you've been waiting, so here we go. Welcome to 3 Takeaways, your agency new business video series where we focus on one new business category and give you 3 takeaways to help improve your new business program. Now first, this is part 2 of a 2-part episode, so go watch episode 81 first, and then come on back, I'll wait for you. Okay, we got into 3 eye-opening stats on the critical nature of prospect follow-up last time and how often it's not done well after a first prospect meeting.
I've seen better.
And agencies have trouble, in several ways with follow-up after that first meeting, where by all accounts, you essentially have permission to follow up if it went well. Now, reasons agencies tend not to follow up. All right, number 1, clients get in the way. That's a terrible reason. And I say it kind of tongue-in-cheek, but it's true. I get it, clients have to come first, but you gotta make the time. Number 2 is they give up too easily. We saw the stat that marketers think agencies don't follow up enough in that last episode. And then the third, and in my mind, really kind of the most legitimate reason, they don't know what to follow up with, especially after the first follow-up, which is typically some form of, hey, I'm just checking in, how you guys doing? And then if there's another follow-up, it's more meaningless check-ins. So, how do you go about it in a meaningful way? Well, you show them what it's going to be like to work with your firm before you even start, right? Here's your first takeaway. Remind them why they took that first meeting with you. If they took even 30 minutes of their time to meet with you, they have a need, or they saw some sort of value in having a conversation with you, right? Their current agency is underperforming, for example, or maybe they're interested in implementing a strategy that aligns with your specific strengths. In any case, your follow-up should help to reestablish their original motivation for having that first meeting with you. Okay, your second takeaway, provide information or insights on something you discussed in the first meeting. After that first meeting, you should have some sense of the prospect's pain points. And as you prepare to follow up, find a way to offer some kind of value-based perspective around something you learned in that first meeting. It could be relevant client experience, a piece of content you've written around maybe a topic you discussed, or even a third-party news item or a trend that's relevant to something that was said in that initial discussion. Show the prospect you understand what they told you, you were listening, and demonstrate your resourcefulness. Again, what it's like to work with you before you even get started working with them. Now your last takeaway must be kept as a last resort. 'Tis sacred. If you've reached out meaningfully in multiple follow-ups and they are just not getting back to you, because it's the last email follow-up you will send, at least it should be, so make sure you've been patient. If that's a scenario, okay, they are ghosting you, you employ the third takeaway, and it's this. You go for the nuclear option, guilt. It's a powerful tool, and I'm only half kidding. If your prospect is really ghosting you, you don't want to waste your time or theirs. Some of you watching are probably doing some version of this or have in the past, but I've seen it used incorrectly, and it's wasted. You waste the nuclear option, okay? You have to appeal to them, be direct, and I've done this myself, something along these lines, whether an email or if you do get them on the phone possibly, but it's probably going to be an email, right? And it's this. Hey Cheryl, I want to make sure I stick with you if it makes sense, but I also don't want to turn into that sales guy and just pester you. I'm going to plan on staying with you for now, but please let me know if the timing doesn't work. I completely understand. Most prospects will answer at that point. I'm telling you it works, and it may not be the news you want, but at least you can move on, right? And I will tell you, in my experience, it's usually not a no at that point, however. They are just busy, yeah. But I mentioned, I've seen this done incorrectly. You only use a nuclear option if you've had a first meeting, or really most effectively after a proposal, for example. And now they're not getting back to you. Well, I've seen salespeople do this after like a third email. They haven't even talked to me at all.
Are you out of your mind?
There's been no connection, but they're like apologizing and saying, well, I guess you're not interested, or I've never gotten through to you, so I guess I'll move on. I'm sure you've received those emails, and it's a terrible sales technique. There's no connection with me yet, as I said, so you just come from a place of weakness at that point. So look, don't be afraid of the follow-up, especially after that first meeting. All right, thanks for watching 3 Takeaways. As always, you got all kinds of new business content on our site at rswus.com. Hit the resources drop down. All right, thanks.